Welcome to Who Has the Best Memory between Dan and Judy. Dan, tell us, how did you guys meet? Give details.
Met at Iowa State on the dorm floor. I'm not sure which one. I think it was 10th floor, Peterson, where I lived. And she was friends with several guys on the floor. And she always walked by my room to get to one of her better friends on the floor. So I kind of met her that way.
All right. Well, what did you guys do on your first date? What'd you wear? Where'd you go? Any other details you can tell us?
As I recall, our first date was a screw your roommate date, and it was a hayrack ride. And her roommate set me up with her, and we went, I don't remember, it was somewhere around Ames, obviously, on a hayrack ride. At the time, Judy was taking an astronomy class, and she liked to point out all the different constellations and stars and such. I have no idea what we wore.
What does screw your roommate mean?
Screw your roommate is like set them up with somebody who you don't think they get along with type thing. That's the way I took it anyway.
Okay. All right. When was your first kiss? Details, please.
I believe our first kiss was the night of that first date on the hayrack ride. When we got back to the dorms, I ended up taking her up to her room, and I said goodnight and gave her a kiss that night.
Cool. All right. Think back. How many residences have you guys lived in together? Can you name them or describe them?
Since we've been married, we lived for a brief time with my parents in their house in Waterloo, Iowa. And then we moved from there to a duplex in Waterloo for about 3 months, 4 months. And then we moved to Rock Island, Illinois. No, I worked in Rock Island, Illinois. We moved to Davenport, and there we lived in 3 different places. I can't remember the address. One was an apartment complex on Winding Hill Road. One was on North Elsie. I can't remember where the first one was. And then we moved to Marshalltown, Iowa. And we lived 2 different places there. South 6th Avenue in an apartment. I cannot remember the street name, but then we lived in a little white house in Marshalltown as well. And then from there, I believe we moved down to Kansas City, where we rented a duplex on Hallett Street. And then we bought our first house over on Cottonwood Drive, and now we live in Lenexa on Bradshaw Street.
Wow, that's a lot of different address changes. Okay, what is Judy's least favorite sport to watch?
Her least favorite sport to watch is basketball, because in her opinion, there's no set rules.
I knew that. That's why I asked that question. We'll see if she says that, right? Okay, what car did you drive or you own when you guys first started dating?
When we first started dating, I drove a silver Chevy Citation, and she drove a blue Chevy Citation.
Funny, okay. Okay, what son is most like Judy and what son is most like Dan?
Carter is the son that's most like Judy.
In what way?
Kind of think the same. Whatever, and they kind of read each other's minds. Whatever Carter is thinking at the time, Judy can just snap out the answer, and it's like looking in a mirror. We joke that they are mini-me.
Okay.
Carter is her mini-me. And I would have to say it's a toss-up between Gage and Mason. Probably closer to Gage.
In what way?
We both, and this is Mason too. It's a toss-up. We all like building stuff with our hands and watching the building process and go on. We think more along the engineering line, that sort of thing. So.
Okay. What's the most romantic thing you think you've ever done for Judy?
I have no idea. I bought her a big bouquet of flowers, which she generally doesn't want me to get on her last birthday. and surprised her. They were sitting on this very table when she came downstairs that morning.
Okay.
So,
Cool. So do you guys have traditions, and what can you tell us about any traditions that you have, or your main family traditions or couple traditions?
probably our biggest tradition is Christmas, around Christmas time. We generally unwrap one gift on Christmas Eve and then have to wait until Christmas morning to do the rest of them. That's probably the biggest one.
Don't you have some other weird one, like going to that restaurant or something?
Oh yes, on Valentine's Day, I didn't know about restaurants down here, and our first Valentine's Day, where we were able to get childcare lined up. I lined up a date to Don Cholito's. I actually called them to find out if they took reservations, not knowing what Don Cholito's was like. And since then, it's been a standing tradition that we go to Don Cholito's for Valentine's Day.
Oh, funny. Okay. Okay, so Dan, are you a breast man or a butt man?
I'm a breast man.
Well, that's all we'll have, and we'll see what Judy answers.